Hey guys, I'm Melts back at with another video, and today we're doing UFC Fight Night Mario Bautista versus Vicious Oliveira, and let's get straight into it. The first fight we got Claudia Sigula versus Priscilla Chikara, and I think Claudia is gonna win by a decision. Overall, I just think Claudia has a better overall game. Priscilla is a big fluke artist. I don't think it's gonna work here, so I'm gonna go Claudia by decision. The next one fight we got is Munkafia versus Yaka Whipbox. Yaka's a pretty solid prospect, even though he's coming off his first UFC win over Patchy Mix. Absolutely robbing Patchy Mix in a split decision. But over the regional scene, he's a killer. But he so far hasn't shown great striking. Even though with Patchy Mix, he couldn't get shit done. Even though Patchy Mix is supposed to be elite, Patchy Mix is not. He's shown that. Gassed out on Patchy Mix, made some bad grappling mistakes as well during the fight. Mune though, Mune is a great strike artist, overall solid grappling game, but he's been up and down, and he's been losing to not some decent names like said Numuga. Sorry, said Numagomedov, who is decent. He's decent, but he's not great. So some of the losses are kind of questionable. I feel like he's 2-2 in the UFC. He is 2-0 now. This fight is a little. I think I'm gonna go Mune here. I think Mune's gonna win by decision though, because I think his ground game is decent enough to defend from uh. Fuck, why can I not say his name? Yaka Whitblack. But I think he's Yaka Whitblack makes too many mistakes on the ground. I do think he's solid on the ground, but he gassed out early last time. I think Mune's gonna do a decent job there. And yeah, Mune by either decision or knockout. And the next fight we got for Wong Kong versus Eduardo Amora. It's women's flyweight. I'm gonna go Wong here. Wong Kong by decision. If I'm saying that, if I'm saying that right. But the next fight, Javid Bastards versus Johnny Vasquez. Not that much known is I know about Johnny Vasquez. Jarvis Bashra. He lost his last couple fights. He lost to Ricky Simon, who's decent, and he lost to Ayman Zahabi. We all know how I feel about Ayman Zahabi, but I think he's decent enough, and there's not that much known about Johnny Vasquez. So I think freaking Javid Bashra wins here, either by probably by finish here. I don't know how he's gonna do it. Think actually I take that back because I realize this guy has like no finishing capabilities in the UFC. So I think by decision. We go with decision. And then we got another women's fight: Bruna Brazil and Caitlin Souza. Again, it's women's MMA. I don't really know too much about women's MMA. But Bruna Brazil by decision. For the next fight, though, Nico Price versus Nikolai Veretenov. Hope I'm saying that right. Both fighters I think are very solid fighters, very capable of doing their own. Both unks, both win one, lose two type of fighters that have had their stretches on the regional scene, but in the UFC, not too much. Probably both are fighting kind of for a roster spot. Whoever wins is probably getting cut after this. So we see. I think I'm gonna go Nico Price here because Nico has more UFC experience. He's a UFC journeyman. So yeah, Nico Price here. I think Nico Price would get it done. Either Bob. I think. Do I want to go by knockout? Because the problem is Nico hasn't won in a minute. He's on a huge lose streak, super inactive, and then Nicole that just hasn't won shit in the UFC. and this is supposed to be probably a layup for him. But see, I don't think so. So both our Ongs, I'm gonna go Nico Price here by knockout. So, but the next fight is Alex Morano versus Danilo Dogchenko. So Alex Morano has been a win one, then lose a couple after. That's the type of fighter he's kind of been. Then Danilo Donchenko is a killer type of prospect. He's on a pretty big win streak. Made his UFC debut on UFC Noches, wins by knockout. Uh, Alex is just a journeyman at this point in his career. Well, I think he's on a 3 fight losing streak. Lost to Nico Price as well. So honestly, I'm gonna go Donchenko here. Donchenko by knockout. I think he's gonna go do evil stuff to Alex. So the next fight we got is this Dustin Jacoby versus Julian Walker. Dustin Jacoby is a journeyman in the UFC. He's 37 now. Kind of he's on a 2 fight win streak though, but win one, win two type of fighter again at this point of his career. I mean, some of his losses haven't been terrible. Losing to the resurgence of Dominic Reyes isn't bad. He's lost to Khalil Roundtree in the past. So, and he's on a 2 fight win streak over not, I would say, not amazing opponents. Bruno Lopez is solid. Not, I don't really know how good Bruno Lopez is because he's kind of new to UFC. So he's kind of just beating these prospects, and he's getting another prospect right now. And how I think he's going to do against Julius Walker, I think Julius Walker is going to win here. I think Julius Walker is more of a complete fighter than him. I think he is pretty solid striking, even though he's young and new to the division. He only has 2 fights and he lost one of them to a guy, Dustin Jacoby's beat and Alonzo Menfield, but I don't think Alonzo's that good. I think he fluked a couple of his wins, so that's how I see it. That's how I feel about him. Oh no, he beat Dustin my that's my apologies. He beat him. I apologize, but yeah, I think Julius Walker is gonna win. How I think he's gonna win, either by knockout or decision. I just think Dustin Jacoby's a little older, gonna be a little slower here. 37 is pretty old, going against a 26-year prospect. Yeah, Julius Walker, I think, is gonna get the win here. Either by decision or knockout. So uh, so the next fight we got is Gene Matsubara versus Furi Bastion. And this fight's a little bit is intriguing to me because, you know, we have a 17-1 fighter against a 14-0 fighter. Both are in the prime of their career or about to enter in that prime of their career, you know. So Gene's been has 5 fights in the UFC. He's won all of them besides one against Rob Font. But Rob Font's kind of a prospect killer. He's been besides his last fight. But yeah, he's won a lot of them. And not a impressive fighter. His last fight was a split decision. A lot of his fights do come by decision in the UFC. He's not a big finisher. He has solid ground game though, and pretty solid striking. His striking's a little nice. Muay Thai fighter. Then we got for Robin, Fareed. My fault. Fareed, similar. Wins a lot by decision. Only one of his fights have been a finish, and that's a submission win. But yeah, he's undefeated in the UFC, hasn't lost, but the competition there though hasn't been the greatest. I think Gene's gonna win here. I think Gene's gonna win by decision here. Both are very similar, but I think Gene has better striking overall. Ground game, I'm gonna give that to uh Fareed. Sorry. I gotta think here. Fareed. Fareed's gonna have better on the ground game, only by a little bit though. Gene's gonna have better striking overall. So my prediction is Gene's gonna win by decision. So the next fight we got is McCall Olazishuk and Mark Ardrea Barolo. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. But McCall has showed improvement in his last two fights after joining the Fighting Nerds. He's looked more improved striking wise and takedown defense wise, but especially striking, he's looked more polished as coming out as more of a striker in the UFC, but has never been able to capitalize on his striking and finishing potential. But he's been that recently, and freaking Marco, if I'm saying that right, Marco Andre Baralio, he has been just a huge, just hasn't been able to get a win streak going. Just has been losing a lot. He wins one, is gonna lose two. I've been saying that a lot in this video, but I'm quite little. His last one was Bruno Silva. Before that, he was on a 3-fight win streak. His last fight was against Shara Bullet, and it went pretty solid. He did decent against him, but he still lost, and it was a big back and forth fight though. I think McCall's gonna win here. I think either by decision or knockout, because McCall has finished potential. He's been able to do it, and McCall um, has just looked really, really improved recently. And Andre Baralio has just not been able to put that win streak going. And I do think his chin though is pretty solid, so that's why I have it going. Could see it going to a decision because he does have a pretty solid chin. I'm surprised he didn't get knocked out his last fight. So yeah, I'm gonna go McCall by decision. And the next one is Rizvan versus Jelton Almeida. And this one, I'm gonna go with Jelton here because I'm gonna make it simple. Rizvan Khushev, he's got caught cheating before. I'm not a big fan of him. I don't get why he keeps getting these big names. I can't believe people said he beat Curtis Blades. I didn't really think he did. He shows decent takedown defense. But Curtis Blades was hurt coming into that fight. So I don't really know how good his takedown defense is, but he showed pretty solid takedown. I feel like Jelton is going to be a little bit more hungry here because Jelton's taking this fight on short notice. Originally, it's going to be Ryan Spann fighting, but Jelton's taking this on short notice, trying to prove to himself. And yes, Jelton's a boring ass fighter and all this stuff. Guy can finish you though. He does have a high finish rate in the UFC, but when he's not doing that, he's very boring. But I do think Jelton Almeida is going to be able to get it going. Rizvan has really good striking, pretty solid striking. Even though against the Curtis Blade fight it was sloppy, I think it was very sloppy because if you're letting Curtis Blades outstrike you and stuff, like come on now, you keeping it close. And Curtis Blades is a fine striker, but still, like, come on, and he caught for PEDs, cheating. Just not a big fan of him. We don't support cheaters here. Jilton Almeida, yes, he's born. I'm also not a Jelton fan either, but Almeida has really good ground games, able to submit you. Every once in a while, get the TKO finish. He has that potential. Um, and yes, he lost to Volkov, but Volkov is a very good heavyweight. Let me remind you, he's one of the only few good heavyweights out there. And I think Almeida is one of those also pretty good heavyweights. So I'm gonna go Jelton Almeida here by submission. I do think he's gonna be able to get the ground game going this time around. Even though yeah, his last fight was against Volkov, and Volkov doesn't have the greatest ground game. I think Volkov's a hard guy to submit as well. So yeah, I think Jelton Almeida is gonna get the win here. So yeah. And for our co-main, we got Armin Ayman Albazi versus Corey Haraguchi. And oh, I'm excited for this one because we got the boy Corey Haraguchi fighting. And yeah, Corey Haraguchi is back versus uh, Amir Abazi. Amir has really good ground game, but he's been super inactive. His last fight came all the way back in 2024 of November 2024 against Brandon Moreno. Boring of a fighter, doesn't really, can finish you, but his decisions are very boring. Doesn't really bring that much to the table. Okay striking, great on the ground though. So not the biggest fan of him. Subban and Corey Haraguchi. First fight back in the UFC submits Islam's and Khabib's teammate. What a beautiful thing. And when he was in the UFC, this guy had one loss. We all know his one loss was to Demetrius Johnson. Then on the regional scene, this guy, you look at his losses, they're not really that bad. Kaya Sakura, we all thought he was going to be good, but hasn't been in the UFC. But the regional scene, he was amazing. This guy has beaten the likes of Manel Cap on the regional scene. He finished Manel Cap, which is extremely, extremely impressive. Able to submit Manel Cap in the past. Who's going to be fighting for the belt? He revenged his loss over Kaya Sakura, knocking him out, and just overall has some really impressive wins on the regional scene. And when he was in the UFC, man, I think Corey. I don't even think Corey's gonna win here. I'm very confident in that. On how he does it, I don't know. I don't think he's gonna submit him either by decision, or I could potentially see a finish here. I can see a finish, so I'm going Corey Horiguchi by finish. I could see it by finish. I could see it by decision. But yeah, I feel confident in that pick. There's a reason why he's minus 400. 400. Long layoff for Amir Abazi as well. Corey's been super active. He's even though he's 35, he's looked really good. He looks like he still's in his prime. So yeah, and let's get into the main event now. The main event: Mario Bautista versus Vinicius Oliveira. Yeah. So Mario Bautista, I do think Mario Bautista is legit. I think Mario Bautista is potentially a top 5 fighter. He does a lot of things good, nothing really bad. I can critique in his game because yeah, I thought he was gonna lose to Umar because he has solid ground game. It's not elite. It's not elite. It's not like Umar. His wrestling isn't as good as Umar. Solid striking overall. Decently technical on the feet. And yeah, his ground game's pretty solid, able to submit you in a variety of ways. Yeah, I think he's a very solid fighter. I think there's got to be more respect to Mario Batista, even though I'm not the biggest Mario Batista, but he is a very good fighter at the end of the day. So, then Vinicius Oliveira is a huge, huge bantamweight, I will say. I saw a thing. He was like Casa Cut. He like walks around 160 or some shit crazy, but really good power. Can knock you out. And that's the scary part is feel like he could knock out Mario Bautista, but he has got a knockout in his last 3. He's shown more of improve on his wrestling and takedown. Hasn't been able to get control as much as he has in the past. Um, Striking wise, yeah, he's not very technical on the feet. Not very technical. Kind of just throws whatever. He's very sloppy on that category, but he can hurt you like that. He has power, and that's what he does really well. Is creating that chaos. And but what I think Mario Bautista is gonna do is keep him out of that. Mix in the wrestling, mix in the grappling a bit, shoot some takedowns, get the grappling going. Just try to piece him up on the outside a little bit more when he gets in. So yeah, I think Vinicius is gonna be too reckless here, and because like I said, Mario Bautista criticized him. He has decent wins. You know, his win like he beat Jose Aldo. Yes, you could say what it is robbery, but he has that to him. He has decent. He has a lot of experience in the UFC. He hold his own against Umar. I didn't think he did that bad. He almost knocked out Umar, dropped him. So Mario Bautista by decision. That's what I'm thinking here. I think it's gonna be good. And especially I think a 5 round favors someone like Mario Bautista and then Vinicius, not Vinicius Oliveira. I think that favors him because I don't think Vinicius ever has been in a 5 rounder. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. He's never been in one. And same thing with Bautista, but I feel like Bautista that would favor him more in a 5 rounder. His style more into a 5 rounder. That's just how I feel. But I digress. I'm taking Mario Bautista by decision here. So yeah. I hope you all enjoy the video. Click the like button, comment, and subscribe. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And MMA Milton